great, beautiful weather.
The weather is amazing.
Yeah.
It's Sweden. For Sweden.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like snowy.
Hey guys,
Who are you?
I'm here to teach you about microplastics. Did you know that the food you eat and the water you drink and even the salt you put on your food all contain microplastics?
Really?
Now, what are microplastics?
Microplastics are plastic particles less than 5 millimeters that can be either from primary sources such as personal care products and clothing, or secondary sources such as the breakdown of larger plastic particles.
When these particles enter the marine environment, they can become suspended in the water or accumulate in the sediment or in biological organisms. This can have negative impacts on organisms' health, and these eventually enter our systems through food.
If we want to implement remediation strategies for plastic that are actually successful, we first need to know where do these plastic accumulate more.
But fear not, there's a group of experts, the Plastastics, who have dedicated the last 2 weeks of their life researching the accumulation of microplastics in the west coast of Sweden, and they're here to tell you all about it.
Yay!
Let me introduce you to the Plastastics, who will give you a first ever sneak peek into what they did to carry out this research. For any research project, the first step is to brainstorm and come up with a plan and a protocol that is going to be followed. This can take quite a lot of time, but eventually a plan is reached and one can go out into the field. In the case of the Plastastics, they decided to sample both the water column and sediment at various sites around the Swedish coasts. This also can take a lot of time, however, as marine biologists, they love being around the water, so it wasn't an issue for them. After the desired amount of samples is collected, the Plastastics are able to move into the lab where they process their samples to then analyze under a microscope and search for microplastic particles. This is very tedious and once again time-consuming work, however it is very cool to see what plastics hide beneath our surfaces. Alas, the hard part is over and the Plastastics are able to move on to the even harder part, which is the statistical analysis, the making of maps to show their data, and finally, the writing of their report.
So, after 2 weeks on the West Swedish coast, the Plastastics were able to find a pattern in the distribution and accumulation of microplastics in the area. Specifically, the areas of higher human activity and more sheltered and enclosed areas such as bays and docks are more likely to have higher concentration of plastics. It's also possible that these places serve as a source of plastic pollution into the oceans.